What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be going over how you can find your perfect sensitivity in Fortnite. This is something that a lot of people are very interested in. I'm sure many of you have asked certain players their sensitivities or been in streams or seen YouTube videos of people asking for players' sensitivities. Sensitivity is one of the most commonly talked about thing in the Fortnite community, and I think a lot of that just comes down to people seeing a really good player and seeing them play really well and thinking, wow, if I had their settings, I would be just as good. And that's really not the case. A lot of what makes someone good is muscle memory with their settings and comfortability. And if you just go around copying people's sensitivities all day and switching back and forth all the time, you're probably not going to develop that muscle memory and you're not going to get as comfortable as you need to get to play at your best. So in today's video, we're going to talk about different tips and strategies that you can use to find the best sensitivity for you. If you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more. Comment down below if you like fast sensitivity or lower sensitivity. There's different advantages to each. So let me know in the comments below which you prefer. And if you guys want to watch me stream on Twitch, my Twitch will be linked down in the description below. All the gameplay from today's video is taken from my Twitch stream. So the first thing that we're going to go over is you probably want to start with somebody's sensitivity. I know that seems counterintuitive based on what I was saying, but I think it is important, or it's a nice starting spot to find someone's sensitivity who plays similar to you. This video is going to focus mainly on controller players because I am a controller player. I don't know anything about keyboard sensitivity, but if you're an Xbox player, try to find another Xbox player or a PC player that uses Xbox controller that has a very similar playstyle to you or somewhat similar and go from there. If you're an Xbox player and you take a PlayStation player's sensitivity, it's going to feel very different just because of the way the analog sticks are. I know that sounds weird, but I've played on both, and when I played on PlayStation 4, the sensitivity I used was very different from the sensitivity I used on Xbox. So you're going to want to find someone that uses the same model of controller as you, like be it Xbox or PlayStation, and try to find somebody that has somewhat of a similar playstyle. If you're someone who only plays zero build mode and you go and copy someone's sensitivity who's an insane builder, it probably isn't going to work out for you. But if you copy someone who has really good aim and you play zero builds, then some of those aim skills or like what those settings do best might transfer. So if you're someone who builds a lot or you want to be a really cracked builder, find someone like that. If you're someone who relies more on your aim, try to find somebody that relies more on their aim. But the main point is that you're going to want to start with someone's sensitivity who has a similar playstyle to you, because playstyle and settings are like very intertwined. Like different settings are more ideal or less ideal for certain playstyles. And that's the same thing with like fast or low sens. Typically really fast sensitivity players are going to be like better at building, but maybe not as good at aiming, and vice versa. People who have really low sens might be more accurate with shots, but not as cracked like with building. And then also when it comes to controller, linear or exponential changes how things feel very differently. So if you want to play linear, find someone who plays linear. If you want to play exponential, find someone who plays exponential. Try to find someone who's a good match for you and start from there. And I think that's something a lot of people get wrong, is they see someone who's really good who has like a very different play style to them, and then they copy those settings thinking they're going to be just as good, and that's not the case, and they're just like setting themselves up for failure. So now that you've had like that person's sensitivity that you were going to try, or that has like a very similar play style to you that you think would fit well, play for a while. Another thing I see people mess up a lot is when they switch sensitivity, they don't really give it any time. They play like one match and they're like, oh, this won't work. Or they like play creative for a little bit and they think like this won't work. Play a decent amount. I would recommend creative, like free building or aim courses. In the description below, I will have the code for a course that I use that I think is a really good aim course. And this can be good for practicing your aim and seeing like what feels right. But you're going to want to play for a decent amount, like be it 30 minutes or so in creative, and then maybe play a few matches or play like creative box fights or zone wars, something along those lines, realistics, and actually put the time in and like give it a decent amount of time to acclimate yourself to a sensitivity. Pretty much any sensitivity you change to, unless it's very close to the one that you're already using, it's not going to feel good at first. So you're gonna have to play accordingly, and if you don't put the time in to develop the muscle memory, you're not really gonna get better with it, and you're just gonna constantly be switching settings, and it's not gonna work out. So play a decent amount, like a solid good amount of time with it, and try to record some clips. I would recommend recording clips on Xbox or Shadowplay if you play on PC, or you can even use OBS to record. But record yourself fighting, record yourself when you're missing shots, record yourself when you think your aim is good, and then watch it back and try to find out what is wrong. If you're missing shots, are you overleading or underleading? And things like this can be difficult to tell in the moment just because you kind of have like your own biases or your own like emotions wrapped up in things. But if you play for a good amount of time and adjust to it and then play some more and watch some clips back of how you're playing and what you're doing wrong, then you know how to adjust. If you're overshooting all the time, like you're moving your crosshair too much one way, then you maybe want to lower it a little bit. And then same vice versa. If you're not flicking enough, if you're a little bit behind the person, you maybe want to turn it up a bit. And you're going to want to do this for like building, editing, and shotgun shots and AR shots. Like those are like the things you would probably want to look at because all of those things feel very different. Like your AR shots are going to be based mainly on your ADS sensitivity. So when you're dialing that in, you're going to want to watch some AR clips and see what you're doing wrong. Shotgun shots are going to be mainly based off your normal sense. When it comes to like building or editing, you might need to adjust those sensitivities accordingly. And the best way to do that is going to be to watch clips. I said to use clips on console or shadow play and not replay mode because replay mode is often really laggy and it isn't the best accurate representation of what actually happened. Like it is on a broad scale, like as far as player positioning goes or like rotations go. But when it comes to very precise, like seeing why you missed a shot, the Xbox clips, the PlayStation clips, shadow play, or just recording your entire session on OBS is going to be a much better representation of what actually happened in game. And that's going to be the best information you have to go off when it goes to adjusting your sensitivity. And that is how I make adjustments to my sensitivity personally. If you only go off how you feel in a moment, like immediately after a fight, then a lot of your decision making is going to be wrapped up entirely on whether it worked or whether it didn't work. And you haven't watched the footage back to know if your sensitivity needs to be faster or slower. So I'd recommend watching clips back and don't change your sensitivity too much. Once you have done this work and like dialed it in and watched clips back and like tried to make it as good as you can make it for yourself, try not to change it a lot. I see a lot of players changing their sensitivity like every day or every other day and constantly hopping between other streamers or content creators' sensitivities. And if you're doing this all the time, you're not going to develop the muscle memory that you really need to play like at your best, like I said earlier on in the video. And that is pretty much all settings come down to. Any sensitivity can be good for anybody if it fits their playstyle and if they put the time in to get comfortable with it and get good with it. And I think that is one of the biggest things Fortnite players do wrong is that they don't necessarily put the time in or give themselves the chance to adjust to a sensitivity. And then they also change it constantly and they change it for the wrong reasons because they're not watching clips back. Watching clips back is one of the best ways, I think, to learn about anything in the game, and you can use it to dial in your sensitivity. So I hope this video helped you. I hope it helped you find your best sensitivity. If you did, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more from me. I'm going to have lots of tips videos coming to Fortnite. This one is a little different because a lot of times when it comes to sensitivity, people just want to be told what sensitivity to use, and that is not the case. There's no perfect sensitivity for the entire community. It depends a lot on your playstyle and like what controller you use as well. So I hope this video helped you, and then I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.